Yeah, dude, it's been a wild thing. So, I've been writing songs in Nashville for the past like decade and spent a lot of my time writing songs for other artists on the radio, which has been awesome. But a couple years ago, I signed a record deal and they wanted me to put out my own songs and be the one singing them, which was awesome. And I thought I just needed to put out songs that sounded like hits, but this is the first song that I really wrote from a true experience. And I didn't really think a lot of people want to hear it. And teased it one time. It went viral on TikTok, posted it again. It just kept going more viral than I'd ever seen any of my songs do, even the songs I wrote for other people. So it's been a whirlwind past month personally and on a professional level with this.
Yeah, I think I heard you. I don't know whether it may have been the CMAs, and the reason it got my attention is you were talking about Next Thing You Know, and we had just had Jordan Davis on, and I'm like going, and I think you sang it. I'm like going, I know this song, and I didn't realize until then you had written it, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens to
Oh, of
Nashville
course.
writers. So what brought you to this moment in time? There's a pretty good backstory, I suspect.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee, and growing up there, as you know, we've got country music just kind of in the water there. Kenny Chesney grew up down the road from me, Morgan Wallen's from there, Kelsey Ballerini's from a rival high school of mine, and I just grew up around it. And so when I was a kid, got a guitar for Christmas, took it way too seriously, and started writing songs on it through middle school and high school, and yeah, I moved here and I realized how important songwriting is, and I fell in love with it. I hate being bad at something. I grew up super competitive, loving sports, obviously. So I hated sucking at writing songs, and so I try to get better at telling stories. And before I knew it, I was telling stories for other artists. But like with the songwriter at a wedding, I figured out how to tell my story through my music, and man, it's been electric.
Next thing you know, everybody's talking about your song. So let's talk about this song for a second. Then I'm gonna go. I want to go back and ask you about a couple of the other songs you've written. But
Yeah.
you wrote this for yourself. You didn't have anybody else in mind.
No, so when we wrote this song, it was one of those things. I came in not knowing if we were actually going to write it, and it was such a detailed story and such a specific thing that I'd gone through, and we wrote it, and it was actually kind of easy to write because it was just painting the picture of the scene that I was in, and actually, a few artists in Nashville heard the song and were like, "Oh my God, like, can we record this?" And this was one of the first ones that I said, "No, this is a story that I think I need to tell." And luckily, I was able to have those conversations and yeah, get my voice on it.
So let's quit keeping the audience in suspense. What's the genesis of the song?
Yeah, so "Water at a Wedding" is a song that I wrote about when I went to a ex's wedding, which sounds like a terrible idea, but I think a lot of songwriters we get the tortured poet kind of thing, and we do things and put ourselves in situations that we can write about, good or bad. And this was one of those really bad situations. But yeah, I went to it, and with the help of some Jack Daniels, I started kind of sitting down and writing a little bit of it, and I was like, oh, this is going to stir the pot. But and it definitely has. I know the Facebook chats are going wild and the back home group chats are crazy. But yeah, this song is about going to my ex's wedding and her marrying the wrong guy. Because dude, they're even like talking on Reddit. They figured out who my ex is. They know like medical records, all this stuff. That it's been wild to see how crazy people have gone over this thing and the
So
story.
so I mean, listen. I used to write for a living, not
Yeah.
songs, but the written word for sports. And the things that you're most passionate about and hurt the most are going to be the best. I mean, just look at the greatest novelists of all time. So how did you, having written all these other songs about either happy or tormented moments in time, how are you able to do it about yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like you said, I think it was so easy to just visualize, what I'd actually seen. It didn't take a lot of imagination to write this song. And it was one of those things, they say write what you know, but also you want to be a little commercial. You want people to relate to a song. And yeah, I was a little scared that people wouldn't relate to this, but I think there's so many people that have seen their ex, somebody that they used to think they were going to marry somebody else, and that's a incredibly painful thing. But I think having my story intertwined with what people are feeling is and have felt in their life was a really special thing to do with this song, and I'm glad people are connecting to it, even though it's not a personal story to them, but it is to me.
So once it got out there and people started reacting to it, what's it been? How's it affected your own life? Because I mean, you have friends, you have relationships. I mean, people are now digging deep into all that.
Oh, they definitely are. I have buddies that are texting me all the time. I've got family and friends that are getting DM'd, and people are coming to shows. I played a show in Seattle this past weekend, and people were in line to meet me, and their first question is, "Do you have a baby?" and did the secret have your eyes, which is the lyric in the bridge. But man, I'm just really excited that it took a song that because this whole time I've just been putting out, like I said, songs that I just thought were cool songs, but they weren't really crazy personal. They were just country songs. And this is the first song that really tells my story and tells about something I've been through, and people are connecting to it on a whole different higher level. And I wish I'd done it earlier, but I'm doing it now. And we talked about part two earlier. Like I've got a handful of songs that are kind of the follow up to this.
And Greylan, if I could go back for a second, because you've written for everyone, and I'm always curious about that process, because with Jordan Davis, that was a #1 hit. It won all kinds of awards, and that's a big deal because once, I mean, even though you had written for Kenny Chesney and other Cole Swindell, now you're at a different level. I think I don't know Nashville like you do, but how do you do the next move after you suddenly start getting a lot of attention?
Yeah, man. I mean, my first #1 was with Kenny Chesney, which was I was a full circle thing because I'd grown up listening to him, and that really proved to me that hey, I can hang in Nashville, I can write these songs, and tell people's lives through a story in 3 minutes on the radio. So that song really kind of validated me and just gave me confidence to trust my gut and my instincts on telling country stories. And it's uh it's really cool to get to hear my songs sung by not just the artist, but the thousands of people in the audience. I mean, that's a feel like unlike any other. And now actually being the artist, singing the song, seeing the people singing back to me is it's super inspiring. And again, it makes me want to continue telling my story, but also being observant of other people so I can get my music right.
Okay, I want to get to the Vols, but before I even get to the Vols, we
Yeah.
had Megan Maroney on. I mean, nobody knew who she was, and it was right before that song took off, and obviously Morgan Wallen's written about the Vols and
Right.
Kenny Chesney. So I don't know if that earth needs to be plowed anymore, but obviously you care a great deal about the Tennessee Vols, like so many other of us.
Oh, dude, absolutely. We've got artists out there holding down the Tennessee fandom, but I feel like I'm kind of carrying the flag for songwriters in Nashville, rooting for Tennessee. But dude, I love when fall comes around and just talking crap to my buddies down here because there's so many Georgia fans. And I write a lot of songs with Hardy. He's actually my publisher here in Nashville, and he's a big Mississippi State fan. So I'm surrounded by Mississippi State fans, Ole Miss fans, Georgia fans are just everywhere you turn here. So I feel like I'm holding down the fandom, but yeah, go Vols, baby. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you know this show. It's not exactly for the faint of heart. So I mean, I think of Georgia artists, and I mean, obviously Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan. I mean, I'm missing probably 10 or 15 of them. What makes them? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but so difficult to be around, obnoxious, maybe. I don't know.
I'll tell you what it is, bro. Even when I golf with them during football season, like I've golfed with Luke and Jason and in football season, I just can't get over the grown men barking at me. I just like that just hits on a level that I don't understand. And I love fandom, but that just like that irks me so bad. And then they're not just barking at you, but they're winning, and that just it gets on my nerves. But you hate them because you ain't them, and that's kind of the thing. But man, I'm glad to still talk shit, even though we've not taken them down in a minute, which I think is what's killing me about it.
Well, it's going to happen this year. It's in Knoxville, in case you didn't know. And
That's right. And also, I mean, they're so successful too. I mean, like Jason and Luke are wearing, $40,000 watches while they're also like their team is just killing us. Like it's just
well, think about this. And I studied history in college, and they may be barking at you, but what does volunteer mean? That means Davy Crockett and a bunch of guys who left Tennessee to try to help preserve the state of Texas. And of course, I don't think they've ever thanked us, by the way. But some of the greatest heroes in American history that Texas people revere are volunteers from your state.
That's right, dude. I mean, and also like it's got to be painful to be a Georgia fan. I can't wait for the text I'm going to get after this, but it's got to be painful for Georgia and Alabama fans and other fans of the SEC, rivals of Tennessee, that they have to live in Tennessee because
Yeah,
Nashville's here.
yeah,
They got to
yeah.
move to Nashville, and they got to be around us. They got to be in our state, so they can root for their teams back home, but they got to live in Tennessee, which I think we get the dub for that for
Listen,
sure.
listen, Greylan. I know you got a successful career, but if you ever need another one, I mean, I'm not here forever. The way you talk, and I can't even. I don't want to get dumped by the censors who have had to dump you twice. But I think you could sit right here and make a fortune just talking trash every day.
Brother, I would love that. You know what? I think I've learned a little bit from you because, bro, after all my rides, I'm not just blowing smoke for you. After all my rides, especially the past 5 or 6 years, I usually get home at 3 or 4 o'clock and turn on SEC Network and listen to y'all. And so I feel like I've learned a bit. So I was super prepared getting on here with you.
Well, we will be in Knoxville very soon. I hope you're around. And man, you have won. I don't know about anybody else here because we got Georgia fans in the other room, in the control room. But from this Tennessee fan, I am in your debt, and I hope this song
Let's go.
continues to chart and go crazy.
Hey man, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me talk about it. And yeah, go stream it. And yeah, I've got a lot of new songs coming out. But yeah, this one I'm really thankful for and thankful it got me here talking to you.
Thank you, Greylan. Greylan James.